Good afternoon. I'm Kippy Jordan and I'm principal of Arlington Elementary School. And I'm gonna be trying to have virtually what we normally would have in person, which is our annual Title I Family Engagement Meeting. And I'm gonna have several things that I'm gonna be going over with you. If you have questions about any of this, of course, you can call the school for more information. So I'm gonna be going through a PowerPoint. Hopefully you can see the PowerPoint from where you are. First of all, why are we here? What's the whole purpose in us having this meeting? There was an act called the Every Student Succeeds Act that requires every Title I school to hold an annual meeting of Title I families. And the purpose is to inform you of your school's participation in Title I. We are a Title I school here at Arlington. To explain the requirements of Title I, because there's a lot of federal guidelines that we have to go by being a Title I school. We're going to talk about that today. And also to explain your rights as parents and family members of being involved. These are the things that I hope that you will learn today during this meeting. First, what is a Title I school? What are my rights? What can Title I funds be used for? How does our school use Title I funds? What is the SIP, or School Improvement Plan? What are our school-wide program goals? How is parent and family engagement funded? What is the parent and family engagement policy? What is the school parent compact? What curriculum does our school use? What tests will my child be taking? How can I be involved? And who can I contact for help? So starting off, what is a Title I school? Title I was passed in 1965 under the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. It's the largest federal assistance program for our nation's schools. Title I schools receive extra funding. We call these Title I dollars from the federal government. And these dollars are used for specific things. They're used to identify students experiencing academic difficulties and provide assistance to help those students. It's also used to purchase additional staff, programs, materials, and/or supplies, and also to conduct parent and family engagement meetings, trainings, events, and other types of activities. And as you would have guessed, a lot of those kinds of things will look a little different because of COVID-19. What are your rights as parents? The families and parents of Title I students have a right by law to be involved in decisions made at both the school and district level. Be provided with information on your child's level of achievement on tests in reading and language arts, writing, math, and science. Request and receive information on the qualifications of your child's teacher and paraprofessionals who are working with your child. And in other words, this means you can find out the degree that your teacher has, a bachelor's degree, master's degree, so forth, and also your paraprofessionals or assistants working in the school. You can also request opportunities for regular meetings to formulate suggestions and to participate as appropriate in decisions about the education of your child. The school is required to respond to any such suggestions as soon as practically possible. So what can these Title I funds be used for? In general, Title I funds can be used for these things. Smaller class sizes. In other words, Title I funds could be used to hire additional teachers so that we could make the class size smaller. Additional teachers and paraprofessionals or educational assistants. Additional training for school staff. A lot of times when it's an in-service day and your kids are at home with you, we're having training here at school, and it helps to fund that professional development training. Extra time for instruction, things like before and after school programs, parent and family engagement activities, and then a variety of supplemental teaching materials, equipment, and technology. If you've been in our building, you're aware that we have a lot of technology here in the building, and we use Title I funds a lot of times to purchase those items. How does our school use Title I funds? In the year 2021, our school was allotted approximately $303,700 We will develop a school-wide program, which means we plan to spend our funds on the following things. Supplemental staff. We have an additional counselor that works 3 days a week that helps us in meeting the individual needs of students. Also, we have an interventionist that kind of oversees our intervention program. Her position is funded with Title I funds. Programs, materials, and supplies. We have a lot of materials and supplies that we use in the classroom, and that materials are bought with Title I funds. Teacher professional development, and then of course technology. I know we're in need of even more technology with the pandemic and a lot of students being home as virtual or cyber students. We are using our Title I funds to purchase even more laptops and other devices. So hopefully that will help with that program. What is the SIP, or the School Improvement Plan? At the school level, we call this the E-Plan. And every school in our district, or actually in the state of Tennessee, has to do a school improvement plan. And this is where you identify, based on your data, whether it's 10-Ready assessment data, Ames Web data, benchmark assessment that we give in the district data, we identify what the gaps in learning are and what the deficit areas. That helps us to determine what our needs are in our building, to know how then to use our Title I funds to meet those needs. So the school improvement plan includes the identification of school planning teams, the different teams of people that come together to plan out and decide how we will spend that money. They are engaged in that planning process. A needs assessment and summary of academic and non-academic data. Non-academic data would be things like discipline data. We want to look at that to see what disciplinary infractions are occurring and how we can meet the needs of whether it be the student or the teacher in developing classroom behavior plans to help with that. Also, we look at attendance data. That's another non-academic data piece that we look at in order to see that making sure that students are here at school. Also included in the plan is prioritize goals, strategies, and action steps to help address the academic and non-academic needs of students. So when we start looking at the different types of data, then we start building a plan. And we start setting goals for what we want our kids to, at what level we want them to achieve at, or setting goals for attendance and what we would like for that to look like. So looking at the data, we develop our goals, and then we start brainstorming ideas of strategies and action plans of how we can improve all of those different areas. Teacher and staff professional development needs. We have begun assessing the needs of our staff now to see what areas they feel like they need professional development in. Sometimes the professional development is school-wide, but then sometimes it may be just a small group of teachers or educational assistants that are needing some training in a particular area, and so it may not be across the board in regards to the whole school. Budgets and the coordination of resources. So in that plan, we have to look then at our Title I budget and decide, okay, these are the action steps that we would like to implement, and how do we match that up with the funds that's being provided to us. So when you develop that plan, it's very important because that's occurring at the beginning of the year. For instance, we've already submitted our plan for this current school year. So you're deciding at the beginning what you're hoping to implement, and then you are spending your budget according to that. So if we're going to spend any Title I funds, we have to have included those items in the E-Plan at the beginning of the school year. The school must include family representatives on our school planning teams. So a lot of times we take the plan and we break it down into smaller areas, and we include parents in those groups as well as community members. What are our school-wide program goals? We've got 3 goals here. The first being to provide a safe and positive environment conducive to learning. I know that when you send your children to school, it's important to you that their learning environment is a safe environment. So that is definitely one of our goals here. Also, to equip our students with options for post-secondary education. Even though we're in elementary school, we are trying to build those foundational skills, because our goal for those students, once they leave us and they move through middle school and high school, we want them to go to a post-secondary opportunity to receive an education. And then to prepare students to be college and career ready. How is parent and family engagement funded? Any district that has a Title I allocation exceeding $500,000, and our district would be receiving more than $500,000, is required by law to set aside 1% of its Title I funds for parent and family engagement. Of that 1%, 10% may be reserved at the district for system-wide initiatives related to parent-family engagement. The remaining 90% must be allocated to all Title I schools in the district. And then you, as Title I parents and family members, you have the right to be involved in how this money is spent. And at the school level, we have what's called a site-based committee that's made up of the principal, teachers, it has educational assistants, and then representatives from our parents of our students serve on this committee. We meet 3 times during the year. We talk about the things that are being implemented. We look at data. We talk about the things that we have spent money on up to that point and any future spends that we plan on making. And it's just kind of holding us accountable, but also sharing with our parents how these Title I funds are working for their child. How is parent and family engagement funded? In 2020-21, we received approximately $3,100 in parent family engagement funding. So we take that Title I budget that was awarded to us at the beginning of this school year. Like we said, 1% has to be set aside of that budget for parent and family engagement. And so in our particular budget, that amount comes to $3,100. What will we be using it for? Parent and family engagement meetings and events. Like I said previously, sometimes those meetings and events will be occurring virtually, just like this meeting today is occurring virtually. And then materials and supplies. If we're having a parent workshop, we use some of this money for materials that might be needed. Many of you've probably attended a literacy night or a math night, as well as you receive the parent compact and family engagement plan. What is the parent family engagement policy? These plans address how the district and school will implement the parent family engagement requirements of ESSA. And the components should include how parents and families can be involved in decision-making and activities, how parent and family engagement funds are being used, how information and training will be provided to families, and how the school will build capacity in families and staff for strong parent-family engagement. You've probably seen this in years past. It's kind of a trifold document that we send home, and it includes these different areas. You as a Title I parent or family member have the right to be involved in the development of these plans. Typically, we have these available at the beginning of the year for parents to look over in case they see things that they think need to be added to the compact. Also, when we have meetings, we have those available for parent review. And then, of course, our site-based committee that has parent representation on it. These are the documents that we look at. What is a parent and family engagement policy? Just a continuation, the district parent-family engagement policy can also be found on our school website. The school parent-family engagement policy will be shared during fall parent-teacher conferences. As you know, we normally have a date where we have those, and students are not at school, and we have those in-person conferences. This year, it's very possible that that will be done virtually, but we will still plan on having conferences. What is a school parent compact? A school parent compact is a written commitment that outlines how school community, teachers, families, and students will share the responsibility of improved academic achievement. So basically, we're saying that there's three groups that come together in a school year. You have the teacher, you have the students, and then you have the families of those students. And we want to always be working, the three of us together, in order to provide the best education and hopefully to have the greatest achievement with the students. The compact must describe how the school, these are the things that the school must do, how the school will provide high-quality curriculum and instruction, hold parent-teacher conferences annually in elementary schools, provide parents with reports on their child's progress. Actually, tomorrow, progress reports will be going out. We have a new system that's going to send all of this out to you electronically, but that is one of the guidelines that we are responsible for, making sure that at all times you know your child's progress. Provide parents reasonable access to staff. Hopefully we do a good job of that. You have your child's teacher's email address, contact information, planning times of how you can schedule meetings to talk about your child. Provide parents opportunities to volunteer. That may look kind of different right now since we're not allowed to have visitors in the building, but we will be looking to see ways that parents can volunteer. And then ensure regular two-way meaningful communication between family members and staff to the extent practical in a language family members can understand. You as a Title I parent or family member have the right to be involved in the development of the compact. Just like with the family engagement policy, we have these provided for you to look at. It is part of the site-based committee of developing what the compact looks like. The school parent compact will be shared during the fall parent-teacher conferences, whether in person or virtually. And if we have the meetings virtually, we will allow a hard copy to go home with students that are in person, but for those virtually, we will send it out to you. In addition, the compact can be found in the school office as well as on the school's website. What curriculum does our school use? The Tennessee Academic Standards provide a common set of expectations for what students will know and be able to do at the end of a grade for each subject area. So in our state, the academic standards have been developed, and that's the standards that we are trying to teach through the curriculum that our district has purchased. In the lower grades, K through 2, the ELA is the CKLA curriculum, and Eureka Math for math. And then in upper grades, 3rd through 5th, Expeditionary Learning is the ELA curriculum, and Eureka Math is the math curriculum. For more information about Tennessee's academic standards, we have a link that you can go to, and this is available on the website. One of the good things about the curriculum that we use, parents are able to log on and look at that virtually. For instance, in the Eureka Math, you even have videos of lessons that you can watch. What test will my child be taking? AIMSweb, that's the first screening test that we give, and we give it 3 times during the year. Students are being assessed on AIMSweb right now as we speak. That's happening throughout the building. Even our virtual students have been scheduled a time to come in and take the AIMSweb screener, and we give it 3 times so that we can track the progress of the student. Also, our district has a teacher-made benchmark assessment that's given all across the district. So for instance, a 3rd grader in Jackson-Madison County Schools, they all take the same benchmark assessment. And that's kind of given every 9 weeks so that we can see how they're mastering the skills that are actually being taught during that 9-week period. And then, of course, we always have at the end of the year in April the Big Ten Ready Assessment, and that's given statewide. So all students across the state are taking that test. We didn't get to take it last year because of the pandemic, but hopefully we will be taking that this year. So how can you be involved as a parent? And I know that's going to look a little bit different regarding the situations in this new normal initiative that we're working under, but we still need you. So Research has proven that family engagement in education has more impact on student achievement than any other factor. A lot of this can be done at home and just reading to your child and talking to your student, working math problems with your child. To get involved with the school improvement plan, you may begin by reviewing our school improvement plan on the Tennessee State of Education website. To get involved with the parent-family engagement policy, attend annual Title I meetings at the beginning of each school year, which is what we're doing right now, and volunteer to serve on committees such as the Title I Site-Based Council, and then of course completing Title I surveys that are on the district website several times per year. And that is going on right now, and we're in desperate need of you to complete the survey. Your child's teachers probably already reached out about completing that survey. And then to get involved with the School Parent Compact, review the compact on our school's website, attend the Title I meeting, discuss the compact with your child's teacher at parent-teacher conferences, and once again, completing the surveys that are sent out throughout the year. We do encourage attendance, whether that's attending virtually or in person when we have those in-person opportunities. And help us spread the word. Sometimes maybe you received information, but your neighbor may not have received that information. So help spread the word when we're having meetings such as this. Monitoring grades and schoolwork on an online system called PowerSchool. You can go in and check your child's grade at any point during the school year. Your teacher will provide that login information of how you can log into PowerSchool to see their grades. If you've not received that, then reach out to your child's teacher. Attending in-person or virtually family events and meetings during fall and spring parent-teacher conference. Joining family groups and committees, and then reading school classroom newsletters or websites that contain examples of learning activities that you could do with your child at home. Who can you contact if you're needing help? For general questions, you can call the office at 731-265-9784. I know a lot of y'all have already been doing that, especially in regards to maybe a virtual student that doesn't have a device. We're hoping to have those new devices in very soon. If you need to reach me specifically, you'll call the school office and they'll connect you. I don't sit at my desk. I'm usually out and about in the building, but you can always leave me a voicemail to return your call. If you're in need of the school counselor, her name is Miss Amy Evans. Once again, you can call her through the school office, or you can call her directly at 731-215-2438. To reach your child's teacher, you should have been given an email address, or you can call the front office and they'll connect you to the teacher's voicemail. Now, during the day, teachers are teaching. They do have a planning time. When your child goes to activity, that's their planning time, and they can try to return those calls during that time or after school hours. Anytime you would like to have a meeting, if you don't feel comfortable coming in person, your child's teacher can schedule a meeting held virtually so that you can have that face-to-face contact, but it being through a device, but you would get to see their face rather than just a phone call. Again, in closing, we just want to say thank you. I especially want to thank you for the patience that you've had with us. Not only is it different for your child and for you at home in regards to the school year, but it's very different for us here. I'm sure we have made some mistakes along the way, and we try to make those mistakes better. And a lot of times that's by getting input from you. So we encourage you to reach out to us. We want to be here to help and help your child. And just remember that we're all in this together.